Good morning, ASEAN. Freshen up your world, your thought, and your idea with us every weekday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I'm Patsurang Desha Putharangsi.
And I'm here with you, Nirasha Malisaklami. And today is Monday, June the 3rd, 2013. We're already in June, Kun Patsurang. So what's going on today?
Yeah, let's start off with one of the most important dialogues in Southeast Asia. Well, U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel met with counterparts from Singapore and Malaysia this weekend following his speech at the Shangri-La dialogue and a series of bilateral and trilateral meetings yesterday. Hagel was attending the 2013 Asia-Pacific Security Conference that this year drew hundreds of political and military leaders and experts from 27 countries on the region and beyond. Hagel met separately here yesterday with Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and Defense Minister Nga Eng Hen to discuss a range of regional security issues. Well, according to Pentagon Press Secretary George Little said, Prime Minister Lee and Defense Minister Nga welcomed the U.S. rebalance to the Asia-Pacific region and noted the importance of robust U.S. engagement in the region. They also reaffirmed the importance of the United States forward deploying on a rotational basis its first littoral combat ships to Singapore in order to enable the United States to increase its engagement with the region. During the meetings, Hagel thanked the Singaporean leaders and people for their contributions to coalition operations, including in Afghanistan. Hagel met also with Malaysian Defense Minister Datuk Seri Tun Hussein. The press secretary added that bilateral defense cooperation with Malaysia continues to grow, particularly through exercises, trainings, and interoperability, and reflects the importance each country places on the strengthening relationship. During the meeting, he said both leaders emphasized the importance of working bilaterally and multilaterally towards greater stability in Southeast Asia and beyond. They also discussed cyber issues and transnational threats. Hagel received an invitation to visit Malaysia and accepted. While Hagel thanked His Hamuddin, the Defense Minister of Malaysia, for Malaysian Armed Forces medical personnel who will continue to play an important role contributing to stability in Afghanistan. Let's see what's happening in Vietnam. Also, Vietnamese Prime Minister, who is recently on his visit to Singapore, has outlined measures to create favorable conditions for Singaporean investments and investors. Well, at a dialogue session organized by the International Enterprise Singapore, Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Dung of Vietnam said that his government views Singapore companies as important partners in Vietnam's economic development. To facilitate investments, he said his country is promoting economic reforms as it moves towards a market economy. It is also developing infrastructure and nurturing a skilled workforce to meet demand by foreign investors, especially in high technology sectors. At the event, Singaporean Minister of State of Trade and Industry Teo Ser Luck was also presented. So meanwhile, International Enterprise CEO Cheng Eng-shiong said Vietnam's long-term potential is promising. He pointed out to the country's rapid urbanization, large domestic economy, and abundant natural resources. The CEO said the consumer sector is a growing area, fueled by an expanding urban population, better educational qualifications, and rising disposable incomes. He said this has created more room for foreign consumer brands in education, F&B, and healthcare.
And now let's have a look in Myanmar, as Myanmar President Thein Sein pledged yesterday to tackle chronic poverty in the long isolated nations whose economy was left in letters by decades of harsh junta rules. The former general said in a speech in Yangon that Myanmar has a good foundation for economic development, citing ample water resources, an efficient labor force, and advantageous climate and abundant natural resources. However, he said the country is still one of the poorest LDCs or least developed countries, and it must strive to get out of this situation. Poverty alleviation should be prioritized rather than the wealth of the country at this moment. Myanmar was once seen as one of the Southeast Asia's brightest economic prospects, but decades of corruption and economic mismanagement under the former junta caused it to fall behind its regional neighbors. About 1/4 of Myanmar's population lives below the national poverty line, according to the Asian Development Bank. Thein Sein's government on Sunday launched a plan to offer microfinance loans together worth several millions dollars to households and workers. And the upcoming World Economic Forum on the East Asia will bring benefits and business opportunities to Myanmar, according to the Suhan Palakurti-Rao, the Senior Director for the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum on East Asia will be held in Naypyidaw from June 5th to 7th. President Thein Sein will deliver a speech at the forum. The pre-event of the WEF for media was held at Traders Hotel Yangon on May 31st. It was attended by Union Minister So Tan, Union Minister Dr. Kanzo, Minister Hon Ang, Deputy Minister Set Ong from Myanmar, and Suchan Palakurti-Rao Phon Mathurot from WEF, as well as invited guests and journalists. Sushan said that international CEOs will be attending to the forum and discussing to find the appropriate business development in Myanmar. The forum will bring better opportunities in short-term and long-term periods. He continued that the forum will also help solving issues that cause Myanmar economy to slow down. These issues include land grabbing issues, ethnic tensions, business developing, and other business-related issues.
First round of EU-Thai FTA negotiations has concluded. More detail after the break.
Now let's have a look at the Thailand and European Union on Friday conclude the first round of negotiations on the EU-Thai Free Trade Agreement and geared towards the second round meeting in Bangkok that will be held in September. The first round taking place in Brussels during May 27 to 31st marked an important step in strengthening the EU-Thailand trade relations with enormous potential for both sides. The ambition is to conclude a comprehensive FTA. On the EU side, the delegation was chaired by Deputy Director General Hao Agia Machado, European Commission's Directorate General for Trade, and on the Thai side by Dr. Olan Chai Prawat, President of Thailand Trade Representative Office. Both chief negotiators reiterated that the commitments to conclude a comprehensive FTA. According to a joint statement during the round, negotiation teams discussed a wide range of areas including goods, rules of origins, services and investment, public procurement, competition, intellectual property, trade remedies and trade and sustainable development. The statement also noted that the round helped gain a better understanding of respective positions and systems in the different areas subject to negotiations. In some areas, text-based discussions started during the round. The talks took place in a very cordial atmosphere. The next round of negotiation will be held in Thailand from September 16 to 20th this year. The negotiations were officially launched on 6th of March 2013 by President Barroso, European Commission President, and the Thai Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. The EU is Thailand's third largest trading partner, and Thailand is the EU's third largest trading partner inside ASEAN. Trade between the EU and Thailand reached nearly 32 billion euros in 2012. The EU is one of the largest foreign investors in Thailand.
According to the latest data from the ASEAN Automotive Federation, Philippines remains Southeast Asia's laggard in terms of motor vehicle and motorcycle production. Well, statistics show the Philippines manufactured only 23,000 motor vehicles from January to April this year, down 2.4% from last year. The number of vehicles produced by the Philippines for the period was the lowest among the 5 Southeast Asian countries with assembly operations. For example, Thailand manufactured 900,000 motor vehicles, Indonesia assembled 400,000 units, and Malaysia produced 200,000 units, while Vietnam had 25,000 units during the same 4-month period. By sales, Philippine motor vehicle sales for the period reached 56,000 units, 26% higher than the 45,000 units sold last year. So this figure, likewise, was still below Thailand's 500,000 units, Indonesia's 400,000 units, and Malaysia's 200,000 units. Despite the year-on-year increase, the country still had lower numbers compared to most of its peers. Well, Philippine sales of motorcycles and scooters in January to April period this year reached 216,000 units, up just slightly from 215,000 units sold a year ago. The country's sales were again much smaller than Indonesia's 2.6 million units and Thailand's 700,000 units, but higher than Malaysia's 170,000 units. So the AAF, which was first established in 1976, seeks to promote automotive market integration, growth, cooperation, as well as investments in the ASEAN region. While ASEAN is getting closer to the region's economic integration by 2015, Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines President Romel Gutierrez said the release of a roadmap for the local automotive industry would be necessary as the Philippines has trailed behind neighboring countries. The roadmap is expected to provide a clear policy direction as well as identify measures to support the domestic automotive industry. Gutierrez concluded that government support is a deciding factor in future investments.
And in Chatty Natty today, we're going to have a look at another IT innovations that has been used together with the local culture to develop school database. Let's have a look.
To Chatty Natty. I'm here in front of Web Innovation Company to talk with the managing director of the company. He's very young and innovative with the aim to improve the education management system of the country through his business. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
My name is Surasit, Samaisut. You simply call me Bright. I am Managing Director of Web Innovation and another companies as well. So basically our company is doing about school MIS, which is keep all the database and management all entire school into a paperless based system.
When did you become interested in web designing, web creation?
Right, so at that time when I was young and when I was student at UK, so I just being a student and I just graduated. Then after that, I just being a lecturer at university. So on the two side of view from teacher side and student side, and also one of the passion that I want to be a businessman. So the three major becomes a jigsaw that come out with the solution that I want to do something for education, for a big structure, rather than just teaching 40 students per year.
Okay, what was the problem that you see in the education that you think that, okay, the database system is not good in Thai education, or you saw the problem and you created your business, or how did it work?
So the problem that I found on every single school, especially university and international school, so they don't really have the database, a central database. So each department or each person do individual work. So they don't really have standard. So they want to extend the business. They want to do something else. They want to do this and that, but they don't look back at their structure. So this is I think that is really important before you doing something, before you want to extend your business, you have to make your central database strong enough.
How did you begin your business, I would say?
Right. The business that I involved is about software house. So basically it's begin from the idea. So I selling the idea to one of the international school in Bangkok, and they just found out that it's quite interesting and they invested. After that, I just start with myself and form up a team later on until to be a company like this nowadays.
What was the reaction, the feedback for the first time?
The reaction from them is amazing, surprise. Just like they don't really expect that this idea can be true, because I just bring from two factors. The first one is the innovation, which is other countries do, and also other business do. But the other thing, they don't really match up with the innovation. So the innovation itself cannot be stand for doing something successful. So I decide to merge the innovation with the culture. So the culture, the Thai culture, that is quite unique. So plus with innovation from other country that I found from when I study in UK. So I merge these two factors and come up with the innovation idea that's they bought it.
Could you elaborate more on the merge between the innovation and the culture, the Thai culture? In which aspect of Thai culture, and how did you merge it between the culture and the innovation?
Right. So what normal software does is they just write a code and got a complete software and force the users to use it without any certification or just half of certification. So on my side, we just go upside way. So we bring the experience and use the what they call user needs and bring up to a software. So it's upside down and bring. So we use the what they call Thai culture, that we know that they behave like this, and use the innovation from other countries, developing countries, and bring up together as a web innovation nowadays.
Why do they need your program?
Right. Yeah. So basically that I found the problem is they try to extend to be innovative, to be intent to another idea, but they don't really look back at behind the scene. So basically if their school doesn't keep the database well enough, so they can really expand to other thing else. So that's why I decide to begin with something really basic, but the basic should be really perfect as well.
Web innovation is not his only business. He has to manage 4 companies at the same time. In the next episode of Chatty Natty, he will tell us how. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
That's it for today's edition of Good Morning ASEAN. We'll see you again, same time, same place, same channel.
From 7:30 to 8 a.m. Monday to Friday, I'm Nirasha Malisak Lamia.
อนันต์พัชสุรังเดชาพุทธรังสีสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ